We move swiftly into the Bard's Tale. So now, as a change of pace, you're now going to listen to me talk for a little while. The Bard's Tale today has a title. And its title is The Nightmare of Barrand Grove. The evening was crisp. As Martin closed up the stables, he noticed, with a heavy heart, that one of them was empty. He'd forgotten all about it. Unfortunately, his horse, Marigold, was killed. Bandits decided to approach Martin's farm and ask for shelter. Being a kindly man, he allowed them into his home, and in the night they took off with 2 horses, slaughtering Marigold and leaving her behind. Martin had spent all of yesterday burying her, and today carried on with his duties around the farm, trying to shake it from his mind. And for the most part he managed. That evening, he heard a whinny off in the distance. He could swear it was Marigold, but he decided to pass it off as just a delusion of his own, and he went to bed. Hours passed. His candle burned down, and that's when he heard a heavy rapping on his door and panicked shouts. As he climbed out of bed and ran downstairs, he grabbed from the side of the door a small, short sword, something that had been passed down for generations in his family. They didn't have much, but this he kept a hold of. As he drew the blade and swung the door open, he saw one of the people that tried to stay just a few nights earlier, one of the bandits. He was there, blood covering his clothes, hands and face. As he stared at Martin, he begged him something, but Martin couldn't hear. Martin just stood dumbfounded. Why had this person returned? Why is he darkening his door yet again? What of the horses that he stole? Is he back for more of them? Martin doesn't have much left. Martin stared him down, the man begging, pleading, starting to cry. Eventually, Martin gained control of his own senses and strained to listen to this man. As much as he was angered, he was still the kindly farmer that he was a few days ago, and this man was in obvious distress. The only word he heard was nightmare, as a flaming shape burst from the side of the doorway and took the man off into the night. Martin stood, blinked, and stepped forward, turning his head to look out into the night, and saw this trail of smoke, flame coming from hooves of some darkened beast, as it gallops off into the night with this man clutched in its mouth. Martin then spent the rest of his days taking good care of his horses and warning everyone of the nightmare of Barrand Grove, that if anyone is to mistreat a horse in its stable, the mistreated horse is then likely to have an avenging spirit come after you. The nightmare of Barrand Grove. I noticed that. I seemed a little worried.
That's why you've got to be kind to animals, Airden.
Okay, he had the asterisk in the stable, so it's fine.
Yes.
Sorry for interrupting, though, Drew.
It's quite alright.
For loopholes to be mean to animals.
So yes, the story of the Nightmare of Bound Grove. If you're mean to horses while they're in their stables, then yeah, flaming death come upon you. Moving swiftly on. We are currently in a cavern. There's a giant undead slime monster and a bunch of skeletons. Since it has been a fortnight, and we have some viewers that may not have been watching us live last time, we are going to begin by rolling for a new set of initiative. A new combatant has entered the ring. It seems quite appropriate.
Fuck.
Oh no.
Straight in with.
Fuck. Straight in with that. Fuck.
God, yes.
Oh, that could have gone one.
I wanted to turn things around. I thought this time it would be Airden's time to shine, and he would really pull it back and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Got 7 initiative.
Yes.
Well, I got no better. 10.
Okay. 10.
19. Yeah.
19. Awesome.
They are good.
Since the arrival of this massive behemoth, the rest of the skeletons seem emboldened. They are swiping with greater fervour. They are striding forward. They seem to care less about their own well-being, and they didn't really care all that much before in the first place. Amy, you're up first.
Yeah. How far am I from the boss? The new guy?
So the new guy is 25 feet away. Airden is much closer. He's 15 feet from it.
I am gonna... I will take attacks opportunities if I need to. I'm gonna run at the boss. So, yeah, do I take attacks opportunities?
Let's see if they hit. Would you please remind us of your armor class?
19.
19 is your armor class. I'm going to change dice. Three of these skeletal bodies slash at you as you push your weapon towards them, forcing them on the back foot, turn and run towards this large brute. All of them missing as they swipe at you, but they do follow.
That's fine. Okay, so I'm going to get in range, and then I'm going to attack it with my longsword.
Sweet.
If I hit, I will be smiting. Oh, 16.
16 is a hit.
Okay. Then I will smite. Smite. There we go. Okay, so it's I roll 48. Yeah. Fantastic roll. 22 damage.
22 damage.
Radiant hurt. Do you need to know specifically what of that is radiant?
Please, yes.
It would be. I can't math. 16. 16 of that is radiant.
16 is radiant.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's buzzing?
Yeah.
Is it me?
Mic on.
I'm moving my iPad. It might be me. I'm not intentionally buzzing.
If you want to try muting your microphone, you might a little bit mute the call. Yeah, on the call. And you get a tell.
Is that better?
Oh.
Well, I know it's definitely Abby.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because
Okay.
It's because I've got my charger plugged in. That is why. I am still here.
Oh.
That's why. I've just tried to plug my charger in because I know I'm going to run out of battery before the end of the game.
Oh.
Fine, we'll sort it. Don't worry.
I think
Okay.
as long as the cables don't cross, it should be okay.
Ah, right. Okay.
Okay. So that was 6 regular damage with your weapon.
Yeah.
Okay.
16 radiant.
16
One
radiant.
spell slot gone.
Right. So that's 6. Right. Whew. That's quite a hefty whack. So Amy charging up, raising her longsword and slashing as she pulls her arm across and cuts at this thing's leg. She manages to pump up her own arm, flexing one muscle and twisting as the blade flicks with extra force up through this thing, and she pulls over and manages to drag a whole skeleton out of the muck of this thing and smash it into one of the stalagmites behind her with a bright flash of divine energy as it's cutting through the leg of this beast. You significantly damage it, and you can see this wound start to close as soon as it is cleaved, but you can see that it's definitely concerned. As this concern rises, a knock happens at my door. This is expected. Everyone, please discuss.
As I do this, I'll turn to Airden and just be like, see,
It's not
how
hard.
you do it.
I'll just add another palette to Amy's name on the palette chart that I wrote on the wall last week. So that's 3 to Amy, everyone.
I'm not sure how to count. You know, oh wait, I can't hear what you're saying. Bear with us, everyone.
Drew, I really have a delivery.
It's always like that, Jeff. I'm used to it now. Just this one here, please, mate.
We could talk about the giveaway if you want to go.
Yeah, to be fair, you didn't mention the giveaway at the
I
start.
didn't mention it
I
now.
just couldn't buy you guys.
I am doing tonight's delivery, guys, if you can hear me. Loud and clear. Oh, I think he's finished. No, he's coming back. It's back! Can you stand it now? Bang!
Is everything okay?
I'll stop.
No, because I didn't mute myself. I've just seen that now.
No, you didn't.
I am terribly sorry, everyone. So, yeah, I just had a new freezer delivered. Yay! As well as the damage done to this thing, you can see a lot of the rock cracking around this thing. All the stalagmites have got small bits of rubble starting to crumble down around about you. Next, it raises a fist and starts to bring it down on top of you, Amy. So next in the initiative order is the giant hell beast. So let's see what it does.
I got this.
Sweet. Alright, so as it brings its massive fist down on top of you, as you try to dodge out of the way, its fist splats onto the ground and slimy tendrils reach out, grab you, and try to drag you down into itself.
Alright, okay.
I would like you to make a strength saving throw, please.
Oh no.
Good choice, Drew. Good choice. That would be a 19.
Ah, sweet. So as these tendrils grasp different parts of your body and try to drag you down to the ground and towards it, you're able to stand your ground. But you do feel that there are these like leech-like attachments that are seeping under your armor, grabbing onto your skin and sucking the life energy from you. You take 12 points of necrotic damage.
Whoa. That's... Oh.
Ouch.
Okay.
Yep.
Drop me down, drop me down, drop me down.
I'm not down. I'm so far from down, don't worry.
Good stuff. It then builds itself back up again, looks down at its leg, and the wound entirely closes. I would like Amy and Airden to make a... If you wish, you can use your reaction to make a perception check.
Okay.
Did you want me to do a perception check?
Yes, if you want to use your reaction for it.
Ooh,
No, I don't want to use Maerka.
I will. That was a 20. Not a nat 20, but 20 altogether.
You see in the center there are 3 different sets of skeletons. You can see clearly a skull and a rib cage and arms set about this black stone in the center of this thing's chest. And these skeletons seem to be holding their hands up as a sort of protection around it. But they don't have any autonomy of their own. They're just part of this thing, and you're able to see through the grime and muck that these things are in there. But the stone seems to be of some significance.
Is this inside the boss?
Yes.
Well, I know what I'm doing my next turn.
Yeah, I think I know what I'm doing as well. Oh god, stupid game.
Eden and Anakis both act at the same time.
Have we finished putting that crystal together?
No,
Yeah.
you've got
How
2
many-
more pieces to get.
How many skelly boys have we got?
You guys have got 3 that are trying to get into your circle.
How
Right,
far
so
away?
my cloud of daggers lasts
It's-
up to a minute.
It's still going.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. I am going to find another crystal, another piece.
All right.
Please.
So this is an intelligence ability check.
Yep. Which is this one. Come on! Oh, for fuck's sake! Ow! 7. I rolled a 7. I see green pieces on the floor. Right,
There's rocks.
They are rocks. I don't know what these are.
You find that there are not only these large chunks, but lots of smaller shards. And what you find when you're knocking about some of these smaller shards is that some of them are giving off a strange hum sound. Eden.
Can I... Well, okay. Is my turn to maintain my concentration to keep the cloud of daggers going?
That won't be an action, but if you cast another spell or do something that's really concentration intensive, then that will break your concentration. Because you've got Enver helping you out, you get to make your roll with advantage if you're trying to put the crystal together, or you can concentrate on fighting off the skeletons and stop them from stopping Anakis.
Okay. Can I look around to see if I can identify the 3rd piece of crystal for Anakis to go get, since she can just see rocks?
Yes, it'll still be an intelligence ability check, but I'll let you identify it as a bonus action. So you still have your action to do a thing, but you'll be able to spot it as a bonus action.
Okay, right. So that's intelligence check with advantage.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Well, those were both awful. 10?
Oh no!
You're
You
right,
managed
there are
to-
a lot of rocks.
So many rocks!
I didn't notice before.
You managed to narrow it down to 3 large rocks that are close to the stump that should be good, but you can't see where they would fit at all, and so are less than as helpful as you would like. But you still have an action.
Okay. Can I move to, like, inspect the 3?
Mhm.
Like, can I move and look at them a little bit? If I'm sure it's gonna, so stupid. Okay, if I'm fairly certain it's one of these 3 is the last part, can I try and see if I can figure out which one of the 3 it is? I don't want it because I don't want to drop the cloud of daggers.
Okay.
I don't want to cast anything else.
Okay. As your action, you can wander over and narrow it down. Basically, spend a couple of seconds like turning them over and seeing, yes, it's this one.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you go over, you manage to see not only that one of these three definitely fits, but another one fits right next to it. You see that these two are halves of a greater whole. And so, with your 10 of identifying things and spending your action to go over and have a closer look, you've managed to identify the last two pieces that you would need. It's now just a case of getting them to the crystal. However, Amy, Airden, could both of you give me dexterity saving throws, please?
What's wrong with us tonight?
Yeah. See, I'm doing alright.
I've got a +3 to dexterity and I still got 8 altogether.
I'm changing my dice. I changed my
I got
dice.
plus nothing,
Yeah.
and I got 18.
Nice. This hulking undead mass then squats down, leans its head, for lack of a better description, as much as there doesn't seem to be like a main part to this, aside from the thing in its chest. It squats its head down close to Amy, opens a jaw wide, which then just results in stringy bits of goo and flesh, and you notice the odd bone standing in for what would be a tooth if this was a real creature, and it lets out this low moan, this that booms throughout the entire chamber. And as the sound disappears into a cadence, you hear the rocks in the stalagmites explode, shards flying everywhere. Airden, unfortunately, gets hit for 2 hit points as these shards fly out. Amy, you very quickly bring up an armoured arm to block these shards. And then you hear scraping against your shield, and as Amy lowers her shield down, she sees that from inside these stalagmites there are old fossilized nautiluses and strange small sea creatures that have been animated and are now reaching out and trying to grab you with their tentacles, which unfortunately they have managed to do with Airden. They have wrapped around his arms and legs and stuck him to the spot where he stands.
Oh man.
Airden, it is now your it's now your
I
action.
think you lost though.
Now your blood rite of flame is still active. That's still on. You are currently restrained. You can spend your action to make a strength check, which can be acrobatics. Athletics. Sorry, to break free.
Okay.
But that would be your action to break free. You could then like run away with that,
Or run towards. Okay.
or run towards.
Man. So I've used my reaction as well when I did that perception check.
Yes. However, your reaction regenerates on your turn. So now that it's your action, you now have your reaction back. Yeah.
How? Alright, so like out of pausing everything for a second, me as a player, or maybe Airden will need to do this as a check, I guess. How big is the big monster? The big gooey slime monster?
About 15 feet tall, 8 feet across.
Oh, 8 feet. Okay, that's not as big as I thought. Okay, so I'll use my action to try and get these things off me.
All right. Give me a strength check. You can add your athletics if you're proficient.
Strength check. Okay.
Yes.
Ooh. Oh, I don't have anything to add to it, but 19 altogether.
Nice. You quickly swing your sword and your arms and break these Nautilus's tentacles off. You see that one of the things wrapped around your legs is some old stony trilobite, and you manage to smash it open. There are still a couple of skeletons moving in close towards you with rusted blade hilts, but you are now free of these creatures that have burst from the stone.
Okay. Did any of those things I knocked off, did any of them die?
They did.
How many exactly?
So there are 3 things grabbing a hold of you, 1 on each arm, and there's 1 trilobite like holding your leg still. All 3 are destroyed by you managing to succeed at this strength saving throw.
Okay, I'm counting that. 2, 3. Can I run? Can I run as fast as I can? I don't know if I'll be able to do this in my action. Can I run as fast as I can and try and jump into the beast?
Yes. Your choice of either strength athletics or dexterity acrobatics.
Oh, acrobatics, definitely. I got +3 to acrobatics.
Nice one. Make the check.
Oh, 20. 17 + 3.
Nice. So, busting out of these things, you charge headlong and dive. You manage to get into this blob of a chest, and immediately your motion is arrested. You slowly sink into this chest, and you find that everything is difficult and slow. You can still move. You've managed to get just inches away from this stone and these 3 skeletons around them, but being able to move, grab, fight is going to be very difficult.
Yeah. Okay.
However, Amy, you've just seen Airden dive into this thing.
Yeah. I was gonna go in as well, but there's no point, so I'm just gonna hack it again.
If you could hear me, I'd say that I beat you to it.
I would recommend against Airden trying to open his mouth.
So yeah, I'm just gonna attack again.
Alright.
Attempt 2. Ah, I'm rolling so well today. It's 19 + 6, so.
Nice. That is definitely a hit. Roll for your damage. And are you smiting again, or?
Oh yes, I definitely am.
Excuse me while I have a biscuit.
22 total again. I think it's 22. With 14 of that being radiant.
Okay. So that's 8 regular damage. And
Yes. Wow. Alright, so raising your sword, bringing it crashing down again, and this time as your blade strikes into this thing's flesh, you see it almost part for this sword. The bright flash of the blade as it crashes down with this echoing, booming thunder throughout the chamber seems to repel the flesh of this thing. It wraps around with tendrils and tries to attack the sword, but you're able to withdraw it before it manages to get it at all. But it does not like that damage at all. I don't like that damage at all. That's a lot of damage. Well, you put undead things against a paladin.
I did indeed. I immediately regret my decision.
I've only got 1 more of those left, so.
He then takes both of his fists and tries to slam them together, crushing Amy between the 2 of them. But Amy's able to duck down, roll out the way, and then the moment the hands disperse, jump back into the same position, sword at the ready. It missed. Eden and Anakis, it is you guys again. You have 2 chunks of this crystal that you've identified, that you know go back onto this pedestal, and you know where they go. So with no further dice rolls needed, it would just take 2 actions, and 1 for each massive stone, to move it back.
So I'm going to take 1 piece. The piece that I know is going to fit in the other with the other 2 bits and roll it into place.
Excellent. Eden,
I'll take the other one.
Alright. As the two of you slot these stones into place, skeletons lurch forward. Swords raised. One of them has a scythe that it's drawing back, swings down. Just as the crystal slots into this final position, all of them stop. Every skeleton is now frozen in position. The only thing still moving is this giant sludge monster from the depths.
Are we allowed to cast anything as a bonus action?
If you have something that is a bonus action to cast, yes.
Let me have a look. I think. Do I have anything? Bonus? Oh no. No, I was going to do my. No, it's fine. Ignore me. I'll save it till next time. I was going to use my Infernal Legacy and do some damage, but it's fine.
Can we count how many skeletons are now frozen? And can I yell, that counts?
A quick glance over the chamber. Those of you with dark vision will be able to count that there are 17 standing up skeletons, all frozen in position.
Can I hear her shout that?
Yeah.
Yes, it'll be muffled somewhat, but you'll be able to hear it, yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna. Can I use a cantrip?
Which cantrip?
Thaumaturgy.
Yes, I'll allow it.
I'm just gonna shout, yeah!
I like to think that the exact moment that my sword parted the blob is the same time that they shouted, so like we got it perfectly through the hole.
Team Bear!
Yeah.
I think with my mouth firmly closed, I scream in anger.
I am going to ask for another dexterity saving throw from Amy.
Oh no.
Oh no!
3.
And could I ask for a constitution saving throw from Airden?
Yeah. Please be good, please. Oh, no. 5.
5. Amy, more rocks explode around her, and more of these fossilized tentacled beasts grab around her ankles and arms and arrest her down to the ground. Your sword is then taken from you and held in the tentacles of one of these shelled beasts and is waved in front of you, almost tauntingly.
I feel like this is not the creature, this is you.
And Airden, as much as you are powering forward to try and get into the core of this thing, its very essence, its very being is corrosive. Corrosive. What is going on with my pronunciation today? Anyway, your armor starts to sizzle, and you can see some decay happening at some of the joints. Some of the leather straps holding your armor together is coming away, and you take 7 acid damage.
Oh, that's not good. Okay.
Can I,
Sorry, go on.
does this count as an attacker doing damage with an attack against another?
It's not an attack. No. It's more an effect. However, Airden, your weapon is still ablaze, is that right?
Yes, I was going to ask about that. Is it kept ablaze inside the...
It is kept ablaze inside. You notice the flames dim somewhat as if they're being smothered, but simultaneously they are being ignited moment by moment from the sword itself. So, this thing will take some fire damage. Ooh. What's the usual fire damage that your sword does?
Right, I think it just adds on... Sorry, it's my Bloodhunter die, which is... Oh, just 1d4, I think. Let me double check that. Yeah, just 1d4 fire damage.
Roll 1d4, it'll take that fire damage.
1.
Oh. It is now your turn.
Okay, so this the stone is just like inches in front of me.
Yes. And these skeletons seem entirely motionless. They don't pay attention to you at all.
What to do? What does the stone? Is it just look like a stone? Just like a?
This is something that looks like a chunk of volcanic rock. There's a sheen to it. And there are lots of straight edges, but it's certainly not a diamond or anything of a cut shape. It's roughly teardrop shaped, and it's about the size of a halfling's head.
Okay. I guess I'm just going to try and reach it. Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking maybe either reach it or attack it, but I don't think attacking it will do anything if it's a stone and I've just got a sword.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
So
try
you're
and
gonna.
reach it. I'm not sure how I'll then get out, but that's for future Airden to deal with.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Good.
As you reach your hand and touch the rock, the hands of these skeletons close around quickly.
I got an 18.
But they don't grab your fingers. You notice that the hands are placed in very specific spaces around the rock, as if the hands have just reflexively moved forward rather than trying to grab you. So they've got a hold of the rock. You are not trapped by them. You are touching the rock, and you feel a cold wave move right through you. And then it dissipates.
Okay. But I have hold of the rock now.
You have hold of the rock now.
Cool. Okay.
There is no further movement from the skeletons. And so, with that, we move back to Amy. You are outside this thing. It's still there. It's still moving around. You can see Airden's shape sort of moving through this thing. The flames of his blade getting smothered inside.
Right, am I prone and grappled?
Yes.
Right, try and get out of the grapple then.
Alright. It'll be a strength athletics ability check. And it will be your action, unfortunately.
Yeah, figured. Oh, 22.
22. You manage to smash out of these tentacles and spindly leg grips of these strange, small, undead rock monsters. As you smash out of them, you also see that the thing that had your sword was also holding on to your ankle. So as you break it, your sword is also free.
Okay, can I pick up my sword?
Yes.
Free action.
So you've still got, standing up, you've still got some of your movement left. You can move about 15 feet. All the skeletons around about you are frozen.
I'd stay where I am. I'm fine being in range.
Okay. It sends one fist flying towards you and connects. This full force wave of water splashes into you, and the fist goes through you, around you, and some of these gooey tendrils wrap around you and try to drag you in towards itself. Give me another strength saving throw, please.
That would be a 1. Would be a crit fail. You can't crit fail saves though, can you?
Not as a with any consequence, no.
It'll be a 5. Technically.
Then you get dragged inside this thing. So you're now in the arm of this giant undead beast. There are just things floating around. You notice an eyeball move past your vision. Everything's slow and heavy to move. You also notice that it feels very corrosive in here. Everything's starting to sizzle and burn away already. Although you won't take any damage from that until it is back round to your turn. However, you do take damage from the hit itself. You take another 12 necrotic damage.
Okay. Cool.
Yep. It then gets its other hand, splits it into individual fingers, and tries to reach inside of its own chest to try and grab at Airden. But as its fingers enter itself, they lose all substance. Airden, you just feel some slight jostling around, as if someone started a wave machine or something. But you don't actually get... Ooh. He appears to be gone. No! I'm not killing
Yeah,
you!
when you jump in the monster. Don't jump in the monsters.
Forgive us, ladies and gentlemen. We are experiencing some technical difficulties. Essentially, nothing bad happens to Airden. While...
That's a shame. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
While he is briefly offline, it is annoying me that the names are now out of order a little bit. But I shall sort that later. For now, Anakis and Eden, you two have now successfully put this crystal together. After a few seconds, you notice small vines, small roots start to grow up around the shape of this thing. Tiny bits of plant life growing around the cracks, trying to fill them in almost. And one large vine sprouts out the top and splits open, spreads out over the top, and clamps all the pieces together, securing it as one solid piece again. And then you notice some small lights start to dance around inside the crystal. Life is returning to it. It's not fixed, but it is getting there.
With my knowledge, will I know how long it will take to fix?
Give me, for no action whatsoever, a nature or arcana skill check.
Well, both it's in, so come on. Oh, for fuck's sake.
6. Your experience of this is extremely limited. You have never known a crystal like this to be severed from the Feyweave, and so reconnecting it could take any amount of time, from a minute or so to years.
Okay. Come on. I think I've not got anything. I've not got any spells, but I've got nothing. I mean,
All the skeletons appear to be out of commission.
they've stopped.
Hmm.
I have nothing prepared that would even help me in the slightest. Yeah, I'm just gonna sort of study it and watch it to see what happens.
Okay.
Whilst doing that, I also want to cast at big lass back there. Although if I was to cast and hit, I would also damage Amy and Airden, wouldn't I?
They are inside the creature. It depends on what they, if it's like a fireball or something that affects the area, then yes.
It would be
they
hellish
get hit.
rebuke. So yeah, it's the creature would be surrounded by flames and would take 3d10 damage.
Since the spell itself targets the creature, the way we'll describe that is the flames are around the outside of the creature, hurting it on its surface, but because they're inside it, they're protected. They've got like a buffer of
And
putrid
hellish
water.
rebuke is a reaction, isn't it?
It
Yeah. It is, yeah.
I'm just
Yes.
double checking, only because I have it.
Yeah,
so
it
I
is.
just want to make sure that I.
Yeah, that's
okay.
at the top.
Okay.
I've not.
Yes.
That I've been using it right. Okay. Okay. I just want to.
Ignore me. I'm not doing that. Yeah, it is.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, it's
I'm so sorry. Just problems with the router. It just went off.
It's all right.
For
These
some
things
reason.
happen.
excited.
The internet just cut out, so I'll be phoning Virgin Media to complain. I guess I've just said the name of the company on stream. But that's what they get, because that was the worst timing ever. I'm so sorry, everyone watching at home.
No, it's all right. I'm also with them, and I'm looking at changing a few things with it. I'm also quite regretting the fact that you don't seem to be wearing anything white. I was going to make some damn Daniel back at it again with the white something or other. But no, you just had to take that away from me.
Someone got something that's like getting increasingly higher pitched.
Is it a washing machine?
It sounds like it.
It is a washing machine. The door was closed and is no longer. I will go and deal with that now. Excuse me a sec.
Thanks, Drew.
Is my ears going funny?
Right, I'm going to just cast. It's not even here. I'm going to cast Ice Knives instead, Drew.
What did I miss?
So we put all. Were you here for all the crystal bits going back together?
Yes, last time
There we
I
go.
was in the thing. I think
We
it
haven't
was
really done much. since
Kerry's
then,
go.
to be honest.
Can't remember.
Oh, Kerry, what did you do?
I can't remember whose go it was.
Not much.
I was here for when.
It's been mine and Eden's. We've not really done much.
I think it tried to reach in. It tried to reach into you to get you,
Yeah.
but it didn't damage you and nothing happened to you. And then we moved
Oh,
on.
okay. Cool.
Right, I'm gonna cast Ice Knife.
Ooh.
I'm gonna fling some ice knives at it.
Nice.
It's within a 60-foot radius.
Wait a minute, I'm inside this thing.
It's fine. We've established you
Yeah,
won't.
me too.
Although because it's a rain, because it's a
Yeah.
targeted.
Yeah, if the spell targets the creature, then it will just be the creature that gets hurt. Whatever narrative loops we need to go through, as long as it holds somewhat true, it should be fine. Okay, so Ice Knife. Getting a drop of water, throwing it, it crystallizes and turns into a blade. Go for it.
Come on. That would be 14 to hit.
14. That hits.
So then it's... I can't remember. So they've got to make a dex save of 13. Oh, yeah.
No. I got 11.
So 2d6 damage. 5, 2, 7 points of damage.
Was that 7 points of damage? Was that?
Yeah.
7 points of damage. And is that ice damage? Or cold,
Hang on.
sorry.
Sorry. The target must... the target and each creature within 5 feet... Oh, hang on. Oh, no, it was a D... Oh, no, sorry. So at ranged, it's a D10. Ignore me. I've read it wrong.
Okay.
7. It's still 7. So... still 7! Yeah, so 7 points of damage. Of cold damage? Yeah, cold damage.
Okay. Alright, as you tip a little bit of water out of your water skin onto the end of your finger and flick it,
Can I do it through my staff? Is that possible?
Ooh,
Or is
yeah.
that a separate spell?
No, you can use your arcane focus if you want to instead of the...
Yeah, if
The thing?
that's okay. Yes, please.
Alright. Wasting no water. Flicking the end of your staff as it moves through the air, it picks up small bits of water vapour, which gather into a globule on the end. As you reach the end of the flick, it launches forward, spinning, crystallising into an ice knife, and cutting into this thing's chest. It then flies past Airden. He sees it in the periphery of his vision, and then the blade explodes. The shard's getting stuck mere inches away from his face. And he notices the cavity that it's created inside this thing slowly start to heal.
Okay. Yeah.
Eden.
I'm gonna go with Arms of Hadar. I'm trying to rip it apart.
Ooh.
Love this one. Love this one. Okay.
Arms of Hadar.
19 to hit.
That is a hit.
And I'm gonna cast this at second level, so that's 3d6 damage. Or sorry, no, must make a strength saving throw. Sorry, creature.
Okay, so this is you've run up towards it, because this is things within a certain range of you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've run up to it, cast Arms of Hadar, strength saving throw. Got a 6.
Yeah.
Fine. Gotta change these dice, they're rubbish.
It's supposed to be on our side. 14 damage.
14 necrotic damage. But then it can't take reactions either. Okay. So as you charge up, what do you have as your arcane focus?
I have a staff.
Yeah, the staff. So as you charge up and slam the staff into the ground, from that minor roots burst from the ground around the base of this staff and launch forward, wrapping around this thing. And as they start to wrap and untwist, they pull apart various bits of sinew and bone that are attached to the outside of it. And it seems that it's almost purer, clearer, after this rending set of tendril arms go through it. You also get a sense of peace wash over you for a brief moment as you feel a warm and familiar face sort of leaning over your shoulder, and his cheek brushes against yours as he withdraws. You feel your patron close as you cast this spell. And it would be the other things, but no, the crystal's complete now, so never mind that noise. We move on to Airden.
So, how far away am I from the outside of this thing? If it's only 8 foot across.
Yeah, so you could easily step. It would be 10 foot of movement to represent the 5 feet ish width of this thing's chest. Okay. So you're sort of in the centre, sort of 2.5 feet. Yeah, you'll say 5 feet of movement to get outside of it.
Sure. So I try and get out of the thing, still holding the stone, the rock thing.
Okay. You find that the skeletons are not letting go of it, but you are able to drag them with you. If you want, as your action, you can try and break them off, making a strength check. But if you want, you can just leave the body with these 3 skeletons attached.
Are the skeletons moving at all, or are they just...
No, they are entirely motionless.
Right. No, I'll... no, I suppose... Yes, I'll try and get them off, I guess.
Alright. Give me a strength athletics skill check.
Oh my god. 7.
As you're pulling this thing out, you're trying to use your arms to lever these things off, but unfortunately, moving so slow, not being able to get the right sort of leverage, everything's really slick and slippy in here. You find yourself sliding out of the chest of this beast with the stone and skeletons all attached. But once you're out, you feel this grime all over you. You also notice that it doesn't seem to have noticed. It's still moving around. It's still got Amy inside of it. But now you've just got this stone.
Okay.
You still got movement.
Do I still... Can I when you say movement, because I want to try and smash the stone. Is that allowed, or is it just moving?
I'll allow you to try and smash the stone now, yeah?
I just want to throw it at the ground as hard as I can.
Alright. Give me another strength check.
Come on, good strength check. Just 10. I don't add anything onto it.
You raise it up, smash it onto the ground, and the ribs of these skeletons burst. The hands release the stone, but the stone is entirely intact and rolls into a rest at the foot of this beast.
Okay, oh well.
Amy!
Yeah.
You are inside, and so, unfortunately, you do take 7 acid damage.
I'm still good. Right.
How are you still standing at this point?
How am I still standing? That's a good question. Can I attack while I'm inside? No.
Yeah, you can try and attack it. Yeah, just sort of swing your sword around while covered in goo.
Would it be an action to try and crawl out, or would it be movement to try and...
That would just be movement.
Okay, can I crawl out then?
Yes.
And attack from outside. Okay.
As you try to move out of the creature, it makes a swipe at you, but misses. As you're trying to leave out the end of its stubby arm, these tendrils try to reach and grab you, but all of them miss.
Okay. I'll swing an attack then.
Alright.
12.
12. Just hits.
Oh, it hit.
Yes.
Okay, I use my last smite.
Alright.
So I'm good. That's 17 radiant damage. Plus 8 piercing damage.
From inside, you can't help but open your mouth to scream a little as you drag the blade through the inside, striking up a glowing blade and slicing through its chest, cutting it entirely in half, the two pieces separating and the top collapsing down and splattering all over Airden and his rock. He is now covered in just more gunk and goo. Yep. The bottom half of this creature then collapsing down onto what would be its knees, and then collapsing backwards into the pool, with you getting just caught by one of these tendrils, and it tries to pull on you as it gets dragged down. I would like you to make another strength saving throw.
Oh my god, that would be a crit fail again. 5 total.
Put those dice away. Put them away. Put them in the dice jail. I'm sure you've got them somewhere.
The tendril grabs a hold of you, pulls you into the pool after it, and as you notice its form completely dissolving into the water, you follow after it. Opening your eyes in the pool, you notice that same eyeball floating past you. And just as it's about to leave your vision and you pull your head up out of the pool to catch a breath, that is when everything disappears. You are dry. You are warm. And it's just pure white around you. You hear a slightly echoey voice, as if a chorus of people speaking to you all at once, and you don't see where it's coming from. You hear, "The crystal is complete again. The army still marches." You then feel yourself getting warmer and warmer to an uncomfortable degree. The whiteness all around you turns red, And then you hear another voice telling you, the army wants the crystal. Smash the crystal, and the army stops. And then you feel achingly cold. Your arms are heavy, your legs are struggling to move, and you notice the water level rising above your chin, and you just catch yourself as you come back to full consciousness and stop yourself from drowning in this pool.
Okay.
We shall come out of initiative now. You have defeated the giant thing. You still have this rock, Airden. It was not smashed at all.
I mean, I can't tell anything about it. It's just a rock. Like, I can't do any sort of like history or
You
like
can do
really
these
studying
things if
it.
you
I
want
really want to find out something about it. There's something to this.
Okay.
You know, because Airden devotes his life to like seeking out and defeating evil things like this, and we've just fought a big evil beast that has this as its core. Like, there's something to it.
Eden and Anakis now, because Eden decided to run close to this thing. Anakis, you are still near the core of this crystal. The lights are getting stronger. The pulses becoming longer, almost like it's an engine trying to restart. The pulses are lasting for longer before receding, and getting more frequent and spurious. You note the vines around the chamber as well are starting to pulsate, but recede, as if slowly, inch by inch, slugs were moving in towards this crystal. It's almost as though the vines are no longer needed and the crystal is calling them back.
Sorry, are you saying it's my turn?
Not that it's your turn, it's just that this the situation that we find ourselves in. We're not in initiative order, so anyone can go at any time.
Do I notice the other crystal at all?
There are still shards on the floor that are left alone by the vines. Is that what you were meaning?
No, the crystal that Airden has, or has just thrown on the floor.
He's quite some distance away, and I'd say that you were suitably distracted by the crystal that if you wanted to try and notice it, I'd ask for a perception check, if you want to
Yeah.
give that a go. Okay.
Oh, nice. 15.
15. Yes, you spot this crystal. You also notice that this crystal has nothing to do with the Crystal Monolith. This is an entirely different thing.
Okay. I can't do anything else, can I?
We're not in initiative anymore.
Oh, we're not in initiative.
It's normal.
Yeah.
Normal happy.
I'm going to take a few of the less damaged pieces, if that's what I would call them. Maybe 2 or 3. I want to keep them and store them in a bag safely in my bag.
Okay. You managed to get 4 decent-sized pieces gathered together that all seem to not only be intact enough to have some power to them, but they seem to be humming, vibrating.
Do I recognise this?
This isn't something that you've encountered personally before, but I would allow an Arcana skill check to see if you can work out what's going on.
Come on. Oh, yes! 18! Yes!
Nice! Just by holding them in your hands and by channeling some small amounts of magical energy to decipher what comes back in harmony. You know that you're able to channel magic through your hands, and if you feel a certain pushback, you can identify the kinds of magics that are in things. These crystal shards are full of primordial forces. because they are manifestations of the Feyweave, they are strongly connected to classical elemental forces. In this case, them being shards and shards of a broken crystal, they are pieces of elements. Used in combination, you would be able to produce elemental effects. The crystals themselves you need to spend time with to work out what primordial effect each one has. But essentially, if you were to clack two of these stones together, or maybe more of them together, if they had synergistic properties, you would be able to create an effect. So if, for instance, you took one with the primordial essence of heat and another one with the essence of dryness, and clack those together, you produce a fire effect.
Yeah. So, are they emanating different hums?
They are emanating slightly different hums. You would require an hour with each one to work out exactly what the hum does.
And how many
to spend a short
different
rest.
pieces are there? Okay.
There are 4 that you've managed to get.
Okay, 4. Right. Yeah, maybe when we're doing a rest and we're camped up for the night, maybe in in that time, that's when I'm thinking about I'm going to do it. I don't necessarily want to do it right now. I don't think. But yeah, I'm gonna. I don't know, just take them or leave them. I sort of want to leave them, but also want to take them at the same time.
Just take them.
Okay.
It's fine. It's cool.
I'm just gonna. Yeah, okay, my druidic sense thinks that this big crystal has been fixed, so these pieces are okay for me to take. So I'm gonna take these 4 pieces to study them for my own benefit and my own knowledge, and yeah.
Do I see this?
You are going to get the same opportunity that Anakis had to see your rock. If you want to make a perception check, you can turn and see that she is gathering smaller rocks.
Yeah, I want to see if she's. I want to see if I can see what she's doing. No, that's a critical one.
I would assume that Eden would let down the cloud of daggers as well.
Would I? Would I?
Or are we just going to have Airden walk towards Anakis and then get sliced into pieces?
Maybe. I'll take it down.
Okay. So you guys are now all alone in this chamber.
Can I get out of the water? And I'm gonna kind of, when these guys seem a little bit sort of distracted by picking up crystals or smashing the thing, I'm gonna go over to the big one. Right. The voice that I heard, is it one I've heard before?
Yes.
Is it always the same voice?
You hear both sets of voices. The sort of the chorus of voices and the slightly deeper voice as well. You have heard many times throughout your life, and they've given you all sorts of advice.
In the past, have I followed the deeper, last one that spoke? Do I feel like I trust that voice?
It's given you good advice and warned you about the army approaching in the first place. Back when you were in Zomagleam and you saw the flames.
Yeah. Right, I'm gonna... I'm gonna take out my sword and I'm gonna tap it against the crystal. Not to break it, just almost like I'm thinking. It's tap it against the crystal.
The crystal has no reaction to it. It seems indifferent, almost as though it's a crystal.
Oh, I don't know, because I feel like, on the one hand, it was already smashed to pieces and the army was still marching. So I feel like would breaking it again really stop them?
At this point, I would say that Enver will stand up on Eden's shoulder and just slowly turn to look at Amy near the crystal.
I'm pretty fixedly watching the crystal and thinking.
Can I ask Enver if there's a problem? Is everything okay?
Something feels wrong.
With Amy or the crystal?
Just a bad feeling. Don't know.
Okay. Okay. We'll be careful.
Do I get an idea of what Amy's doing?
You see her tapping the sword against the crystal.
I ask her, do you know of this crystal? Do you know anything of it?
I shake my head, still not looking away from the crystal at all.
I roll an insight check.
Okay.
Amy, make a charisma saving throw, and let's compare the scores.
Ooh.
Okay. I mean, I'm not. Crit. So.
18.
24 total.
So, Amy, you portray whatever you want to portray. If it wants to just be like thoughtful stoicism, rather than betraying any underlying thoughts, then...
Yeah, it's just like, I'm just staring at the crystal and I just shake my head like, it's like I've heard her say something, but I've not like super connected to really what she's asking. Like, I'm too busy weighing up my options, so not really either way, I guess, but like, I'm not trying to hide anything. I don't look,
Okay.
not like shifty or anything. And then, like, after like another few taps, I just kind of mumble, I think I might have to smash it.
Did you say that out loud?
Yeah. Still looking at the crystal.
Me and Nutkin's come out of my satchel and we're just sort of like, no? What? Excuse me?
And then I rest my sword back on my shoulder, like, and then tap it against my shoulder, just like I'm thinking and looking at it.
But why?
I don't know. I think it's what I'm meant to do.
But I'm meant to put it back together, so if you destroy it, I'm just going to put it back together. So then we're just going to end up in a vicious cycle here.
I mean, I'm assuming if we smash it, that all of these skeletons are gonna.
Yeah, that's the thing putting me off.
Wait,
Yeah.
can I, while like all the skeletons, are they just standing around frozen?
Yep. One of them is just a few feet away from the crystal, where Anakis and Eden were putting the last bits of crystal in place and about to strike with a scythe.
While this whole drama's going on with Amy looking at the crystal, can I start just trying to move all the skeletons into a big pile? Like, if they're frozen, can I just lift one and just like...
Yes. Yeah, they're entirely posable for whatever you...
Well, I'm going to put them all into a big pile, and I happen to have a flask of oil and a torch, so I'd like to put them all into a big pile and then set fire to that pile.
Nice. Yeah, it'll take you a good 10 minutes to wander around the whole chamber, gather them up and put them in a pile and soak them. But yeah.
No, that's okay. I'll just do that while, you know...
while the discussion's going on.
While that's going on, yeah.
All
I'll
right.
start doing it. I don't know how far I get.
But what I'm going to ask Amy, but what's telling you to destroy it?
I mean, my faith, it's come like, it's a message from my deity, God, kind of. Yeah, sometimes that this is how I know where to go and where to show up. I get like visions or suggestions, and I show up and I do something and it helps. I believe there's an army on its way.
Here.
I don't know where, but I think it's going to be bad when it gets to where it's going. And I believe that smashing this crystal might stop the army.
Do you believe that this crystal is a signal of some sort?
No, I don't know. Maybe they just want it. They maybe want to use it. I don't know. I don't really want to break it because I don't want the dead things to come back. And also, we've just come all the way down here, so...
A brief reminder, just in case. Eden, while in Sommergleam and collecting supplies, did hear rumours of the Edhels, the elven clan, being on the move. An army being gathered and sent out from the city. That rumour also conflicted with other rumours that she picked up. Some of them are saying that the army is to come out and find Maerka Edhel, the elf that Simon says is missing somewhere around here. Others saying that the army is being led by Maerka Edhel. An interesting thing that happens while Airden is looking for bodies, however, is he happens upon one that has much more flesh than otherwise. And he recognizes it as an elf. You find an elf collapsed on the floor with golden armor, hiding behind some stalagmites. He's very close to the crystal pedestal.
To the crystal that Airden has?
No, to the crystal that you've reconstituted, the crystal monolith.
Oh.
Do the others see this?
It's no, it's the other side of a few stalagmites. So you're out of the way, out of view.
I don't tell them. Can I try and investigate the body, just as if I'll just mime as if I'm like struggling with this body in particular, maybe pretending it's a bit heavier than the others or something.
Okay, you moving it to the pile?
No, I'm just I'm like investigating it. If they can't see it, then I'm just I don't know. They'll just think I'm just taking my time or something.
All right. You find that it has a mark on its finger where a ring was certainly placed. He's been dead for a few weeks, maybe a few months. If you wanted to do a medicine check, you'd be able to determine more about how he died and when.
But I don't find anything else on his body that would like identify him or anything.
Give me a history skill check.
9.
This is definitely noble house armor that he's wearing, but his sword is missing from its scabbard. The scabbard is relatively plain, but the armor identifies him as certainly being from nobility among the elves. This is more ceremonial armor than functional.
Okay. On the pile he goes.
All right. So, Amy, Eden, Anakis, what's it going to be? Smashing the crystal or not?
Did we smash the other crystal? Is the other rock being smashed? Sorry.
No.
The black one.
No.
Okay. Maybe we need to smash both just to be sure.
Maybe we just need to smash the black crystal.
You can try.
Can I have a go at smashing the black crystal, please?
It's on Airden's person, I would imagine. We haven't really established what Airden did with it.
I wouldn't have left it there. I know I didn't say I picked it up, but I
know
think I
he's
would have
got
just been
it.
like, well.
Yeah, Anakis knows that Airden's got this crystal, and it's big.
I sort of walk over to Airden and I say, I know that I know you've got the teardrop.
Yes.
I think it needs to be destroyed. I don't think it's.
I think it doesn't anymore. I was
Wow.
going to destroy it, but Amy took care of the beast, so I'll keep this for now. I want to find out more about it. You've got other crystals over there to play with. You just stick to those ones, and I'll keep this one.
So patronizing.
So patronizing. I am going to. Did I find out anything that I knew about it? The crystal.
No, you've not had a good solid look at it.
Could I? I'm going to ask Airden. Could I just investigate it then?
No.
Can I touch it?
I go back to my pile.
I am going to slyly attempt to take the crystal from Airden. From him.
Okay. So this is going to be Airden's passive perception against Anakis' sleight of hand. So make a dexterity ability check with sleight of hand if you're proficient. Excuse me. And Airden, if you could take the number 8, add your proficiency modifier if you're proficient in perception, and then add your wisdom modifier, and that is your passive perception.
I've got 14 passive perception.
14 passive perception. What did
I rolled
Anakis
an
get?
I rolled 8.
Airden, you notice Anakis, her hand in your satchel bag, pulling the rock out.
I don't know. Do I just grab her hand? I think quite forcefully I grab her. And I just say, "Don't try that again." And I go back to my pile.
I say I'm going to be investigating these crystals. Do you want me to investigate yours at the same time and tell you what I know about it?
I'm fine, thanks. I can deal with this.
Okay. I give up. But I know I'm going to come back to it later.
So just to clarify, did Anakis say first, I think we should smash your black crystal, and then when that was shot down said, oh, can I just have a look at your black crystal?
Yeah.
And then when that failed, tried to steal the black crystal, and I said, oh, I was just gonna look at it.
She did everything possible to get the black crystal.
I think you did it all in the right order as well.
Yeah, I did. I know I did. I went from the end result back to the beginning, so it didn't work at all. Never mind.
Eventually the bodies are all piled up. You've managed to pour your pitch on and set fire to them while the deliberation continues on. And so if the green crystal, which by this point is now solidly lit up, casting a green glow over the whole cavern, and the vines are still receding into the centre. From the spread that they had and how long it took for them to spread, unless it's now receding faster than it initially grew, it's going to take about a month or so for all the vines to be like shooped back into the crystal.
Okay. There's currently nothing I can do spell wise. And I don't really know much about it anyway, so I don't feel like there's anything else I can do in terms of this crystal. I was sort of studying it. Did I find anything else out apart from watching it grow? Did anything come to me? Have I learnt anything from the crystals that have been chilling in my pocket? Has anything changed? Everything. Everything.
You will get everything if you spend like a whole hour with a thing. I'll say that if you guys want to, you can count this as a short rest. Spend 1 hour gathering corpses, making a pile, setting them on fire, talking about whether or not to smash a crystal, and all of that can take place over the course of an hour. and you guys can spend hit dice if you want to heal up.
Yes.
So you've got 3 of your hit dice. You can roll 1, 2, or 3 of those and get back however many hit points it says on the dice. And you get all your hit dice back when you do a long rest.
I didn't get hit one.
Me neither.
Wow. That's a minute.
We don't go jumping into monsters.
No,
I mean, I
we
didn't
don't.
jump into the
We
monster.
put crystals back together.
I got
Yeah.
dragged into the monster.
Note to self, more exploding Nautilus columns. I need more of those to hurt you guys.
I don't know what to do. I'm really torn. I think I need some guidance on. I'm struggling to pick between what Amy would do and what I want to do.
Is this like guidance from us as players or as characters?
No, I think kind of from Drew a little bit. I'm like, whether I'm just trying to work out as to whether she would just just throw herself into completely doing what she's being guided towards doing or not.
I think that Amy would internally be doing exactly what you are doing, and that for the most part, because she's been with certain kinds of people, she's put on this facade, this face of, I'm just doing this confidently, this is just what I've always wanted to do. But inside she's always had this conflict of, well, which piece of advice do I go with here? I think that will always have been part of who she is. Which I realise, and quite deliberately so, this is me just passing the buck back to you. I'm not going to make the decision for you.
Right. I will, for the majority of this hour then, I just I sit myself down and I just look at it for pretty much the entire hour of thinking. And then towards the end, I'll say to the others, so I need to stop this army coming. I don't really know what they're coming for. I don't know what they're trying to do. I don't know if, who they're working for or anything.
Then why do you want to smash the crystal?
Well, all I know is I need to stop them coming, and I know that smashing the crystal will stop them coming. But perhaps there is another way. If you guys would be up for helping me work out another way and maybe trying to find this army and find another way to stop them, then I think perhaps I could not smash the crystal.
Do you know how smashing the crystal would stop them coming?
No, I think they want the crystal. I think that's pretty much all I got.
That's all I know.
So smashing the crystal won't necessarily stop them.
Well, I fully trust the information that I'm passed. But
Sorry, Kerry, did you say to us that it was a voice that told you this, or did you just tell us that you just know it?
I didn't really say it was a voice. I just said that I didn't say specifically it was a voice, but I said that I sometimes get visions and I get guidance, and it's usually from my part of my faith or from my deity that I don't really follow a deity, but I don't really know a better way to put it. I just kind of get the impression of what I should be doing, and that's usually what I follow, and that's where I end up going.
Would I have any idea, Drew?
After this hour, you will have spent this, I assume, with the monolith to try and get as much as you can from that. Daniel, will you have been doing the same, while watching skeletons burn, just sort of interacting with this black stone?
Yeah, I think I've just been trying to work out, just inspecting it and really kind of just trying to see if I can learn anything from it.
Abigail, Anakis now knows that this monolith has within it a great many spells, attuning to this artifact and remaining with it would allow you to access spells that druids normally don't get, and wizards as well would kill in a lot of cases literally to get access to this. This is a very powerful monolith. It has the ability to move people from one place to another as a spell, but also you know that you as a druid could use your druidcraft cantrip to move through this monolith to any other monolith in the network that you personally are aware of.
Okay, yeah.
You could use this as a teleportation stone. By touching this, you can move through to anywhere else in the world, wherever there's another monolith that you're aware of. The shards will have some kind of magical ability with them, but it changes depending on how the shard was broken off or carved off. A lot of people spend time with these crystal monoliths and shave off little slivers to use them as essentially spell scrolls, little one-shot magical abilities. The crystal is healing. It is healing the land around it as it's drawing the vines in. And you know that it'll take about a month and a half, and the landscape should be back to its old, vibrant self. And that the destruction of the monolith was what caused the undeath and the corruption of things around about. Smashing the crystal would bring the corruption back, as the Feyweave struggled to maintain the life force of the land and try to reconstitute itself. So it would certainly be bad in that aspect. If you want more zombie bears, that's how you get more zombie bears.
Nah. Alright.
What did Tinnitus and Simon?
Yes, it's catching up. Yes.
No!
They both, I can't remember, and it's only because I don't have a different notebook than I had last time. But they wanted different things. They had different opinions about the crystal and what to do with it. What could you remind us what that was?
Yes. So Daenerys, being of the Druid Order, he wants to protect this crystal and make sure that no one really gets access to it. He knows that it's a powerful thing and wants to safeguard it from people. Simon thinks that it would benefit the region and the local kingdoms if they had access to it. He wants to essentially control who accesses it to make sure that no one evil gets it, but he still wants it to be accessed, whereas Daenerys wants no one to get it.
See, I think the only way to make sure that no one gets it is to destroy it.
No.
And make sure that all the bits are split.
Like,
and
But
smashed.
Except for the plague that's taking over the land.
Yeah, but you know, that's only this area.
It's spreading. It was spreading.
Exactly. It will spread further and wider, and it will take. Would it take over the further? Am I right in thinking the further it spreads through, then other crystals will be affected?
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't want that, because then it will take over the entire plane eventually if it's not controlled. By which then you will become undead. Well, you could potentially become evil.
At which point we shall describe what Airden discovers about his black rock. This is a calcified darkness. This is evil turned into a solid form. This is all the unrest and evil thoughts and deeds of the elves that constituted this skeleton army, coagulated into one solid form. By having this on you and wielding it, you are undetectable by undead. You will not be targeted by them. You will appear as friendly to them. But you will also appear as undead. You will have the typing of undead. You will show up on other people's radar as undead.
Do I? And I know this, like as Airden.
Yes. Airden, having spent the hour examining this, while holding it, you feel that chill again that you felt when you first touched it, and also this rush in your blood, as if something that you are innately connected to, something that you draw your power from, is connected to this stone.
Oh man, because the whole Bloodhunter thing is like, you know, like dabbling in kind of evil to defeat evil, but like not losing yourself to it. I think I'll hold on to it just now.
Can I just ask if my Druid craft is a cantrip? Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
So, alright, okay. Well, it's prepared anyway, so I'm just gonna sort of say, look, I can manipulate this crystal and change. I think that it's almost like a honing device, and that people are coming for this crystal because they are drawn towards it, whereas I think that I can change the radar and deflect the army to another crystal. I can do that within my power. I just need some time to do it. Won't take me long, but I just need time to do that.
Where are you going to deflect them to, though?
I can deflect it to another... How far... I know there are hundreds of these crystals across the whole entire plane, so I can deflect it to the farthest point. Can I deflect it to the farthest point, Drew? Or is it only with it? Am I only allowed to deflect it to the crystal that I know within?
You'd only be able to do it accurately to the ones that you know. We can, if you want, make an Arcana skill check to see if you can sort of like make a magical guess and just sort of like hope that it gets there.
Are there any other options?
Do we want them? Do we want to deflect it? Do we want them to be going to another crystal? Do we
buy
want
us
them
time.
To get
It would. Yeah, I was just going to say it will buy us time, and it will allow us to
Find another way to defeat the army
Yeah, and we can find out how many are within this army.
without smashing anything.
Or killing anyone, but well,
Yeah.
within reason.
Yeah.
We could. My natural sense is to deflect it in order to cause as less destruction as possible. I think leading it here leads it towards the city, which is not safe. I can try and change its direction to somewhere within an environment and a place that does not have a lot of civilization surrounding it.
Can I do something as an experiment?
Yeah.
I don't know how much metagaming this is, but mainly from things I've read of yours, Drew. Can I pump some lay on hands into the crystal and see what happens?
Yes. How much do you want to pump in? 5?
Can I do it can I do 5, and then if I think it's doing something, or if I'm getting somewhere with it, just kind of keep almost like a stream of it, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'll go in with 5, and then if I feel like it's doing something, then I'll keep kind of pushing and trying to get whatever out of it. I don't really know what I'm trying to do. See if something happens, or if I get any more sort of inkling on what I should be doing.
As you put your hands on the crystal, you feel the gentle warmth inside, and your ears begin to fill with this sound of small birds chirping in the distance, and at the same time this loud rushing, like blood pumping into your ears in this heartbeat rhythm. And then as you press your hand flatter against the facet of this crystal and share your own energy with it, the room starts to tremble slightly. The light inside the crystal dims, but still casts starker shadows from the stalagmites and figures surrounding it, as if the light itself is getting stronger, but a deeper, darker shade of green. And then the crystal begins to shake independently of the rest of the cavern, and the rest of the cavern settles down. As the crystal is shaking, vibrating almost, you notice that it's starting to create sounds in the air. Over the course of a few seconds, it starts with the odd screech and then a scraping sound, and then a low tone like someone blowing into a woodwind instrument. And then, after a few seconds, the trembling slows, and then it only shakes when a sound is being made, and you hear a voice. Amy. And you hear this
Sure.
voice as a chorus.
Okay. Can I reply?
Yeah? Everyone can hear this voice.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's me.
I am not, but you are.
Okay. What?
Being is the essence.
Okay. You're talking in riddles, whoever you are. What's your name? Who are you?
I am not. Crystal.
That's you. Okay. Is your name not? Or you're not Crystal? Or you're not a thing?
I am not I, but am Crystal.
Are you talking to the crystal? Is this the crystal talking?
This is the
Yes.
I
crystal
think we're
talking.
talking to the crystal.
Sorry, Abby, you're buzzing again.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's because my charger plugged in. It's fine.
I think just if the cables aren't crossing, it should be alright.
No, they're not.
No?
Oh. Well, in about 5 minutes or so, we'll shoot off a break anyway. At that point, charge your device as much as we
Yeah.
can. So yes, you are speaking to the
Okay.
crystal.
Hi, Crystal. My name's Amy. You already know. Okay, wasn't expecting this. How's it going? Are you getting better now? Have we fixed you?
Form is stronger. Together.
Yeah. Look, I think. Why is there's an army coming? Do you know about the army? How much do you know about things? Or are you just a crystal?
The army that approaches. A dragon leads it.
Fantastic. Okay. Are they good guys or bad guys?
They seek my power.
Why?
What? What power would you be offering?
Power is not offered. Power is taken.
That they would take. What's the power they want to take?
Magic. They wish magic.
Okay. And I presume it's bad for them to get you.
The dragon wants power for the sake of power. The army it leads knows not its true intentions.
Okay, do you know its true intentions other than just it wants it selfishly?
The dragon once protected, now seeks revenge.
Oh.
Against who?
Those it feels has slighted it. Mortals.
Oh, just mortals in general.
Humans. Nearby.
Does Amy ask him
Yeah.
how many are in the army? Ask him. Ask the crystal. how big is the army?
I mean, I don't know if you can hear her, but How big is the army?
Hi, I'm putting you back together.
With help?
Well, with Eden, two of us. Group effort.
Anakis,
Oh, me? Yeah. Hi.
the army numbers a great many. Over numbers hard. 5? You then hear this long screeching sound echoing throughout the chamber. And then the voice returns. 2,517.
It's a good number.
It's not that many.
Yeah.
How far away are they now?
3 weeks.
How old is the dragon?
The dragon measures beyond years. One of the first.
Oh, great.
Of
What
course.
what
What colour?
yeah, what colour?
What colour?
Gold.
Oh.
God. Does it have a name?
Airden looks through his monster manual.
Airden or Daniel?
Both.
Does the dragon have a name?
Yes. As I quickly look up my own notes, because I did not anticipate all of this. Yes, it has a name, and its name is the name I'm about to tell you, which is a wonderful name, and that name is... Is it that one or that one? It's one of the two. It is... Glaurung.
Glaurung.
Yes.
Okay. Crystal, I believe that one way to stop the army would be to destroy you. Do you have a suggestion of another way to stop the army? To not have to destroy you?
Destroying me here would destroy the land. It would defeat the army, but not deter them.
So if we were to destroy it, if we were to destroy you again, we would destroy the army. But then if we were to put you back together, would that bring the army back?
I feel I'm perhaps being a little too cryptic. The the crystal, over the course of the next few minutes, back and forth, deciphering its rather riddle-tastic way of speaking, you work out that the crystal knows that if it is destroyed, the army won't know that it's destroyed, and even if pieces are taken away, the army won't know that until they get here. So the army is going to continue marching until they get here, regardless of what happens to the crystal. But if the crystal is destroyed and not able to be repaired, then the army has nothing to do. As far as the crystal is concerned, there is no furtherance to that end of the narrative, that the army just gets here and can't do anything. The crystal doesn't know what an army would do in that instance. Eden, however, might have a decent idea of how an army of Edhel elves might react, and she knows that they do not take kindly to wastes of time, that they don't really care about the outside world all that much. When they do care, they go with a purpose. If that purpose is then taken away from them, they seek payback from wherever they
angry
can.
elves.
So they'll kill the dragon.
Lot of angry elves. And
No, I presume they'll come after us.
Ev-
will they? For
us.
Crystal.
everyone else.
I take it this is
Anyone else?
this is probably a stupid question, but we can't move the crystal, can we?
No,
We
it's
can
rooted to the
redirect
ground.
its magic.
You can redirect its magic, but the physical crystal itself is
was
rooted
still
where
there.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So if we
Feel
were
like
to
this-
redirect... Sorry.
No, go on. Sorry.
So if we were to redirect your magic, whoever can answer this, Drew or Crystal, well, Drew, to another crystal elsewhere, would the dragon be drawn here still or elsewhere? I know I asked this earlier.
The army would continue marching to here, and then would just find an inert crystal, and then would not know what to do.
So this is the weapon that they were looking to use against Summergleam anyway, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to assume that even if there isn't a weapon, they're probably just going to try and take and kill everyone in Summergleam anyway, right?
Yeah. That would be my guess. So do we need to warn Summergleam? Is that a sensible thing?
Just playing devil's advocate, and this is Airden saying this. What's so great about Summergleam?
Well, it's a little town, isn't it? Or is it a city?
It's
Town.
Yeah, it's a large town, come small city. It has a queen. They have a royal court and everything, but they think themselves bigger than they actually are. That they are not much more than a large town.
Can I ask the Crystal why they're trying to attack Summergleam specifically?
The crystal has no idea about the motivations of other creatures.
I mean, we have to protect these people. They're innocent people. Especially if this dragon is doing it just for the sake of killing people and being horrible on purpose.
Yeah.
Could we ride out and meet this army and speak with them? They're
Not
elven.
you.
They'll be
can.
reasonable.
I'll see you later. We'll see you later. No,
I mean,
no.
there's nothing stopping us going and speaking to them, but it doesn't sound like this dragon, as soon as we oppose him, he's going to be very happy to kind of let us leave, I guess.
Just as we set off on our break and outline things for after, you will learn from the crystal. I've lost my train of thought. Why have I lost my train of thought? I'm terribly sorry. Kerry, would you mind just repeating what you just said? For some reason, it triggered a thought in my head, and now it's gone.
He won't be very happy if we
Oh!
go
Yes,
talk to the
thank
dragon.
you.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah. The crystal lets slip that the dragon has taken the form of one who died here, and that the army knows not its true form.
Oh shit!
Who's the person that... Can I ask who the person is?
It tells you the elven prince Maerka Edhel.
Oh no. Oh you.
Cool.
Can I ask the voice? This
My
man,
patron's going to love this.
did he wear a golden armor?
God.
He did.
This is turning the bloody tables, is this?